All right, Grasshoppers, it is a Thursday, 10 o'clock, the most watched show in the history of mankind right here. Rich Gabberty, what's happening, brother? How are you?
Oh my God, I'm feeling incredible today. I'm back in the studio. Diane is here, big smile. She opened the door for me.
Really? She
And
did smile. It wasn't a smirk like, oh God, he's here, he's back again? Or it
no,
was like,
no. I think everybody's happy to see people nowadays down
so,
here
yeah.
in
How's everything?
glorious Florida.
So everybody knows Rich is down in Naples. There went through Hurricane Ian. How's everything now?
Well, it continues. I mean, the thing I'm amazed about is the resiliency of the people down here. Absolutely amazing. Yes, the beaches were wrecked, beat up a lot, and some have too much sand. The others don't have enough sand. They're cleaning up debris, the debris fields from the poor people that lived near the water because there was a 10-foot storm surge. It's incredible. I mean, the personal items, the belongings, everything destroyed, and now they are actually taking that, and I think they're dumping it somewhere in Estero. There's like a big tract of land there off of 41 where they seem to be dumping a lot of debris. But yeah, so look, they put a bridge up in 4 days. So there was an area that was that lost their bridge, not the Sanibel Bridge, but that's going to be replaced. That's going to be replaced with a temporary bridge by the end of October, they say, which is amazing. I mean, that's the length of like the Throgs Neck or the Whitestone Bridge.
That's incredible. Yeah.
But they're going to do that, and then there was another area, and I don't remember exactly where, but they put up a bridge in like 3-4 days. Wow. Military bridge, and they were able to get the public food trucks, deliver food to the poor people and whatnot. So
it's amazing the stuff we can do now, right? It's pretty cool.
Well, it's incredible. It really is. Right. And the mental fortitude though is amazing of the people down here. Right. I mean, it really is. No matter where they're from, it doesn't matter, or what political affiliation. I don't, who gives a crap. Yeah. Everybody's down here. Everybody's in the same boat, and it's adversity, and it's how you deal with adversity that is a measure of your success.
So in case anybody does not remember who Rich Gabberty is, we coached together many years ago, the Westchester Mariners. We won't talk about him taking his shirt off on the bench. That's an old story. But everywhere I go and I meet players that have coached that Rich has coached, they just say fantastic things about him. Not necessarily about the hockey, because he doesn't know anything about hockey at all.
There you go.
But I'm just kidding you. But as a person, he's done many great things for many people, and he continues to. So he and I have kind of reconnected. Not kind of reconnected. We have reconnected.
We've reconnected. We never disconnected. We just stopped talking to each other because life gets in the way. And then we saw each other at the Garden.
Yeah, isn't that what guys do too? Like guys can go for 20 years without seeing each other, and it's like it's 20 minutes, right? So
I mean, friends are friends. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it was great to see you that time at the Garden. There was you and Valaket and just
that was good. That was
a couple other guys, and then there was Rich Gabberty.
So I was thinking of you. So on Tuesday I do the show. Jackie Long, the hypnotist, is back.
Yes.
So we do the show on Tuesday. So now, we really don't know each other that well, but we've gotten more comfortable with each other on the show together. So I loosen up a little bit and I start telling her some stories about maybe me throwing the ladder down the hill, driving too fast. And I don't realize she's very good. She pointed out to me, she says, Tom, it sounds like there's a little bit of an issue here. You think you can do what you want to do, but when other people do things wrong, then there's a problem. And I stopped and I go, I guess you just pretty much put the nail on the head. And I started realizing, and I felt bad because I'm thinking she's very professional and everything.
She is.
Yeah, she's worked very hard on her career. And so I'm thinking to myself, oh man, I'm sure she's probably thinking to herself, what kind of a nutcase have I got myself involved with here doing the show? So I sent her a text last night saying, listen, I apologize because I don't think the way I'm conducting myself blends in with your thing. And she wrote back, she was very sweet. Tom, I knew you were joking around, so it didn't bother me at all. But I just feel in fairness to her, I got to be careful with because she's worked so hard to, funny stuff.
Well, not everybody appreciates you like I do, Tom.
I know. It's not true. I do sometimes think, well, as long as I appreciate myself, that's all that matters.
Oh, here we go. Yeah. Well, but you got to just be careful with that.
Oh,
obviously I got here a little late. I got to plug in. You got to be careful of that because you can't believe your own bullshit. That's what took me down. You know what I'm saying? If you think you're the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Oh, I don't. I don't. I'm very high myself, but I'm telling you, I was really more thinking of her
She's very prim and proper. I mean, she's very prim and proper. She knows what she's talking about, and hypnotism is definitely a way to deal with some of the bad wires.
Well, what I like was like, she really get into the discussion about the subconscious mind, and I know you understand it, but it was really interesting me to learn about it. Where those years, again, from 0 to 7, primarily your subconscious mind is really being formed. You can learn things good and bad after that. But she was talking about how you can, without hypnotism, you can still get to your subconscious mind and talk yourself into things, or not talk yourself, but the idea with the hypnotism is it kind of lets the guard down of the subconscious mind, and now you get directly to it. So I thought it was pretty cool listening to her explain it.
And also the repetition. That's important.
Absolutely.
So reading positive things, reading about abundance, reading about mindfulness, and just anything that reminds you and gets you back on that right track is fantastic. Because there's nothing more tiring than negativity.
Yeah, like, and you hear people say, "I can't do that," or "I don't like this," or "I'm this, I'm that." Right? I used to just think, you tell yourself you are what you are, that kind of mentality, but there's a real science behind it. It's not just people saying this stuff. So.
Absolutely. I mean, it's as simple as when somebody says, "I need a cup of coffee in the morning."
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
You got to get out of that habit. You want a cup of coffee in the morning. You either want it, to need something. You want to get to the point where you really don't need anything except oxygen and the fact that you wake up.
I was listening to the radio this morning. I think it was Carson Wentz talking about have to play a Thursday night game, that short turnaround from Sunday to Thursday. And he's going, "Oh, it's hard. It's hard." You could tell he was talking himself into saying how hard it was, instead of saying, "Listen, this is what it is. We'll play tonight and we'll be fine."
I mean, it's hard. It's hard a lot of times for me to relate to stuff like that. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to be grateful you're coaching, or you got to be grateful you're playing. You're playing a game and you're getting paid for it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. His attitude, you're exactly right. His attitude should have been, "Man, I can't wait to get out there today. I don't care whether it was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, what it is. I can't wait to get out there." Yeah.
It would be better off. He'd be better off that way. Yes. He really would. Like that. And that's why I'll admire Brady, Tom Brady. Yeah. I mean, he's playing, look at the age he's playing at and everything. And he's got a great attitude. And he, even on social media, he comes across as a good guy. And, and he's stayed out of the headlines. Him, Derek Jeter, guys like that.
Aaron Judge is doing that now for the
Aaron Judge, God bless him. Yeah. I mean, it's good to see a young guy like that do it in an age after steroids.
Yeah. So like, here's the thing too, like in the National Hockey League, a big thing, the analytics bear it out, but the second game of back-to-back nights. So if they play on Friday, Saturday, that Saturday game, especially if they're traveling, the numbers show that teams have less of a chance of winning or performing at the top level.
Yeah,
I get it. I know the numbers are there, but I do think a large part of that is now that they've convinced themselves that that's actually the case. Like, it really never was something we focused on before when I played. It was just more, okay, you're going to be a little bit more tired. Work harder then. Be more focused.
Yeah.
Ready.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the nutrition, though, I know that the nutrition that the pro athletes now, a lot of these teams, the way they suggest, I had a copy of the Pittsburgh Penguins nutritional plan, what to eat before the game, what to eat after the game, how much water to drink and everything.
Yeah.
And if you follow that, well, I mean, you got better chance to do all of that stuff.
Yeah.
I think it seems that in running across the athletes, the majority of them are not drinking profusely, after a game. I don't think it's as prevalent now. No. I think that it's not.
The problem is it's the sleeping pills and everything now.
Yeah, well, that's a problem in society, though.
Yes.
Everybody's self-medicating. One guy gets a script, and then the script runs out, and then they figure out what to do next. For whether it's pain, sleep, or whatever. Yeah. But
the great Dr. Jack Barnathon, is that how I say it?
Yeah, Barnathon. Jack Barnathon.
We hypnotize ourselves with negativity every day. Grateful for the positive voices you both share, and that Coach Rich is safe and sound. Oh, very nice.
Yeah, I'm safe and sound. I'm back to normal. I owe him a phone call, for Pete's sake.
The only problem, though, Doctor, is that if he's back, is everybody else safe and sound? That's the issue. Right?
Oh my God.
Right. Okay. Oh, drone update.
Oh yeah, come on.
So, of course.
You didn't read the instructions, Tom.
Exactly. So I'm at the beach, and I'm listening to your voice saying, "Tom, you should go to a football field someplace." And I'm thinking,
yes,
screw that. I'm going to the beach, and I'm videoing. So I get the thing up in the air, And all of a sudden I realized I have no clue. It's heading towards the water and I have
Yes.
no clue what I'm doing. So I hit the land button and it came down. It was fine. It came down to sand. It was fine. But I was just
But it
dying
came
laughing.
down. Yeah.
Yeah.
It gets
Well-
out. It takes off, doesn't it?
Well, yeah. So it's got a little takeoff and landing button. So, well, part of what, so I finally had to call the company and they took me through the process and I was able to unlock the propeller. So,
Yeah.
so the first time I did it though, I for 10 times, I couldn't get it to unlock. And then finally I hit the button and the thing goes, zzz.
Yeah.
And now I'm in panic mode. I think, oh God, I don't know what I'm doing here at all. So it was,
No, I mean, that's what happened to me. I was flying it and I was flying it in the back of the condo and there was a lake between me and the golf course.
oh,
So it was like the 11th hole, right?
Right.
And there was a lake in between the 11th hole and the golf course. And so I hit it and it goes up so high. I can't
Oh.
see it.
oh,
I couldn't even see it.
oh.
So now I'm like, holy crap, I lost this thing. So now I kind of like, I finally spot it. I
Right.
screwed everything up because the controls, everything went, it's easy when there's no adversity, right? Now I have I'm in distress. Like when you think you're going to lose it, that's when you're in trouble,
Oh,
right?
totally. Yeah.
Yeah. So now I say, holy crap, I'm going to lose it. I forget what all the buttons do, right?
Yeah.
So I press the land now button.
Right.
Okay. And now I see it. It goes, whoosh, and
Oh.
it lands. But where does it land? On
In the
the
lake.
middle of the fairway across the lake,
Oh.
like right on the middle. So if
Right.
you and I are playing golf, we see this thing, we might have hit it with the club, right?
Right.
As a goof. So now
Yeah.
I'm worried that somebody's going to break my drone.
Right.
I had to like get in my car, drive up to where the cart path is,
Oh.
okay, run across the cart path. While I'm doing it, I said, this will make a good video. So I take a video of like running.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And then I get to the damn thing and no one had beaten it up. So I had my drone. It was like mission accomplished, but it was pretty
Oh,
wild.
that's funny.
So it did-
But it's a
so-
good point. It's a good like scientific point though, right? Because your blood pressure or your heart rate had increased because now you're panicking a little bit. You don't think as clearly. If you were calmed down, you would know, okay, I'm relaxed here. Just look
Yeah.
at these instructions. It's gonna. But I'm the same way. Totally. It's like it started getting away from me today. Same thing. I just went to the land button right away.
Yeah.
And I had to walk about 100 yards to pick up my drone instead of flying it back to me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you have to, once again, because you have a water hazard, you're doing it on your morning march. You
Yeah.
have to go to like the
Oh.
high school football.
Well,
field.
no. See, here's the thing. I should go to the football field.
Yeah.
You have to is
Have to. Nobody tells you have to. I know. Well, perhaps Tom, but I'm sick of. I don't know. I've been suggesting
Oh.
some great stuff to you, but no.
But tell me, Laura, it's a late law trait. So it's good things and bad things come from being the way I am, right? People can't talk me out of things and people can't talk me into things. It takes a long time for that to happen, which is good because then I don't go for bad things, but it's also bad because I don't always go for good things. I was like that for years with intermittent fasting where people would talk to me about intermittent
And
fasting.
then you thought you invented it.
Oh yeah, exactly. Once I thought I invented it, then good thing to do.
I was thinking of you. I just want to let you know something that there's a Chinese sage called Lao Tzu. Okay.
Lao Tzu.
Lao Tzu. 2,500 years ago,
Right.
he said the following.
Okay.
The hard and the stiff will be broken. Okay. He said, the soft and the supple will prevail. Whoever is stiff and inflexible is a disciple of death.
Hasn't happened yet.
Whoever is soft and yielding is a disciple of life.
Don't buy it.
2,500 years ago.
Just because he was wrong back then doesn't mean he's right now. Don't buy it.
I read that.
No, the real good man is the dangerous man.
The
Dangerous man
who keeps
that
himself
things under
good.
control.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like throwing the ladder down the steps and all of that
Right.
stuff that people.
I paused. I utilized my dangerousness to my advantage. I controlled myself for a minute, and I thought, no, this is a good idea to throw the ladder down.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Okay, Larry Melnick. So hold on, mate. Larry Melnick. I don't know if you guys remember Larry Melnick. He used to play in the National Hockey League. He used to be on the show with me on Thursday at 2:00. He has told me that he's going to be on this afternoon. Then all of a sudden, I get an email last night that he's not going to be on the show this afternoon. So
yeah. Well,
what's wrong with pizza for pregame and chicken wings and beer postgame? Work for us. Yeah, good point. It did work for us. I cannot argue with that. But science will tell us now that That was probably not the best thing for us. We maybe could have played longer and played better.
Carbo load. You were
Yeah.
carbo loading.
Oh God. But it's a good point. No, listen, I'm joking around that proverb that you just read. So being stiff.
So you got to be a little flexible. You got to be, and you are at times flexible, provided that psychologically you think that
Well, I guess I've learned. I guess I've learned that when I follow my heart, I do better at things. When I take other people and they tell me what to do, I tend to feel I don't do as well at it. Yeah, when it's my thing, I put my heart into it, and I go. Okay. I don't agree with that suppleness, like that soft, supple man.
No, and it doesn't mean that. It means you're willing to bend. It's like a what kind of tree down in Florida? And I'm trying to be cautious on how I speak. I'm trying to keep the Bronx out of my talk here today for our fireman friend. Anyway, what type of tree got destroyed down here in Florida?
The hard, rigid tree.
Yes, thank you. So you could be a little supple.
I tell you.
A little. Well, you bend. Listen, you would have never done half of the stuff. We already went over this. We go over this. This is like the 12th therapy session we've had together. I told you in 20, I would help you tremendously if you have 20 sessions with me. We're up to about 12.
Sure.
Okay. So here we go. So you have changed in your life because you wouldn't be talking about any of this stuff. You wouldn't.
No question.
Right?
The key is though, I changed because I wanted to change.
Yeah. Oh, right. Nobody's forcing you to change, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's the thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm just, people are suggesting you do certain things, like Jackie could hypnotize you, and you don't have to have. We don't want to see it on the air.
We discussed that. We actually discussed in the last show that I should get hypnotized. Yeah.
It would be very helpful. I would do it. I'm not going to do it on the air. I did Dory's breathing,
right.
And that worked. That was great.
Right. There's another great saying too. I think it's like 2,600 years old.
Go ahead. Yeah, go F yourself, right? By the philosopher Fangul.
Go ask everybody else's opinion, and then just go do whatever the F you want to do.
Yeah, I know.
Listen, I've kind of joke around. See, I agree.
I know you. Listen, you've come a long way, buddy.
It's important to listen to other people's advice and everything, but at the same time, you've got to follow your own dreams too, right? So if it's something that you really want and you want to do it a certain way, listen, if you're just being totally reckless and it's just not going to work, then that's wrong. Right. But whatever I've done in my life but it goes both ways. So whenever I've just said, no, I'm going to do it. Like I said, at 6 years old, I'm going to play in the National Hockey League.
Mm-hmm.
Took me 15 years to get there. Finally did it. Right.
Yeah.
I wanted to become an agent. I said, I had other people saying, what do you know about being an agent? You're not a lawyer or nothing. I said, no, I'm going to be an agent. I just found, and there's other things on the flip side where people would come to me with ideas. They want me to be a part of it. I didn't totally believe in it, but I thought, okay, it's kind of cool. It would never work. Now, maybe that's my own fault because I don't put as much effort into somebody else's ideas. That's probably part of the equation, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, you believe in yourself, which is nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? You believe in yourself. As long as you're not full of yourself. Like I believe in myself. Okay. Right. When I got full of myself in life in the 90s, that's when I screwed up.
Yeah. When
you believe your own bullshit, you know what I mean? If you surround yourself with positive, okay, and you always go back to positive and you do positive things, well, then you're in good shape. It's when you ease God out, ego, right? When you ease God out and you delve into the negative, there's a part of you that knows that you're doing something negative.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you grew up, your parents and everybody, I mean, the salt of the earth, your grandfather, the farm and everything like that. So you know the difference between right and wrong.
Totally. Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree. No, I agree 100%. I agree.
Now,
next big trip, next adventure coming up. Going to Guatemala in November.
What the hell are you doing there? That's awesome. Huh?
So, yeah, I know. The crew that came in from Vancouver, that's Ryan Phillips and Ciela English. Really great people. They're really tight in, very motivational. They've been through some tough times with some brain trauma and really healed themselves. And they're great. And so we did the True Redemption that's going to be on Amazon Prime. Mm-hmm. And then we're doing another series of interviews. And one of the guys you're interviewing is based in Guatemala. So we're going to be down there and do some stuff down there. So just, again, it's one of those adventures. You know what it is? Probably true. In the past, I probably would have said, I don't want to go to Guatemala. Well, now I think to myself, are you kidding me? A chance to go to Guatemala?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
so in conclusion, now what we're talking about, in other words, okay, you are willing to change. You have changed so much. Okay.
Yeah.
You're willing to change.
Yes.
We could have went on we could have deviated and talked about chicken wings and beer and all of that stuff. But yet you are talking about going to Guatemala and having a good time with that and being open-minded. So you're willing to change now.
Yes, totally.
You know, I mean, look,
But
you got energy. You know what it is, Tom? It's about energy, right?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
It's energy. You have energy. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, much more the attitude. As much as I played in the NHL, everybody thinks, well, that's such a big thing. I mean, yeah, it was, and I was very proud of myself for doing it, and I love playing for the Rangers and the Kings and all that. But more the stuff I've done after is more like getting out there, like, you know, going on Survivor. Like, okay, nobody else, who else would want to go on it? Sorry, right? It's like what other former NHL players even going to want to go on Survivor?
Right. Yeah, that was crazy, but that's right up your alley. See, that was a natural. When I saw that, I was like, "Oh my god, that's hilarious." I didn't watch the show. I wasn't a fan of the show per se, because it's a different kind of a deal. I mean, you know, you drop me in an island, I'm going to try to survive. You know, I went away on a men's weekend. I was like, they put everybody out like on a football field, and it was like shirts against skins, and you ran at each other. You started to wrestle. You couldn't punch anybody or anything. Right. Like I was one of 3 guys. I was one of the last 3 guys on the field.
Nice.
You know, whatever. And you know, it was crazy. But Survivor, right? You have to make friends with the other people. You got to have tribes, and then there's people that are snitches and who's a rat.
It's so much you got to swallow your pride too, because you don't want to say something, you know, or you're out in camp and they're doing something wrong. You know, I grew up on a farm, so I know what I'm doing, especially my personality too, right? I think that I'm, you know, what I'm doing is the right thing. So many times I had this, Tom, just be quiet, let them do what they want. So it was a challenge. The mental part was the challenge. The physical part was not that big a deal.
The physical part wasn't probably a big deal, right? Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you had to, you'd make a spear and you'd go into the water and get a fish.
Yeah, definitely. But it was funny though. There's a couple of funny scenes. There's so one of the guys in our team was it's awful. I can't remember his name right now. It's terrible. He was a young guy. He was a basketball player. He told me he played college basketball. Why can't I have Dean Kowalski? Geez, that's terrible. I'm sorry, Dean, if you're watching the show. So him and I got kind of tight. He was from New York and a whole bit. And so after the tribe swap, where the 4 people I'd formed an alliance with now ended up on the other tribe. So Dean and Krishma and I were now down in numbers 5-3 to these new people coming over from the other tribe. They were all tight together. So if we lose the challenge, they can just pick us off. They can vote any one of 3 of us off. So Dean and I got together and said, listen, this challenge, we've got to make sure we win the challenge. We can't put somebody else. Like, we actually thought that those 5 people might just throw the challenge so that their people don't get voted off on the other tribe at this point.
Way too confusing. Go ahead.
I know. So anyways, bottom line is we really needed to win the challenge, or we felt like we were going to get voted off. So as it turned out, this challenge was there's 3 baskets floating in the water, and you had to shoot basketballs into. So I'm thinking, this is perfect. Dean's a college basketball player.
Oh my God.
We got to made. So we set it up. We pushed everybody else all the way so that we could be up there throwing the baskets. I said, you're throwing all the baskets. I'm hockey.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So we get up there, he hits a couple of baskets, but the other side they got their 3 baskets first, and they won the challenge. So we go to tribal council, I get voted out. And so this Bill Contradidiac guy, I'm telling you.
Is that how you pronounce his name?
No, it isn't.
He's sleeping, look.
Good. I'm glad you're sleeping, because we don't even think that's really his last name now. We think he just threw a whole bunch of vowels and consonants together, and that's what he ended up with. Because there's just no way that's a name.
And where's Bill? Is Bill a New Yorker?
Well, he says he is, or New York or New Jersey. I can't remember.
Oh, okay.
But he could be like in some home, someplace or something. I'm not sure.
But he's a fireman, isn't he?
He's retired.
Oh, he's retired. Oh, okay. See, that's the thing. Yeah.
He's in NJ. See, it's NJ. Too much for him to spell out the whole New Jersey.
He's in Bergen County then.
Right.
I'm guessing.
So I get voted out. Once we're voted out, the people that aren't going to stay around now have this big party kind of with all the producers and everything. We go to this base camp. So the one producer is this really funny guy. He went and checked the records to see how many college basketball points Dean scored in his college career.
Yes.
5 in his entire career.
Awesome. So what is how many? Yeah. Well. So
I put my whole career, my Survivor career in his hands, and he scored 5 points.
5 points. Good move. Way to do your due diligence.
I know, exactly. Yes, exactly.
Way to go.
It's like not reading the owner's manual, flying the drone. Don't read the owner's manual.
No. So have you gotten any video from the drone yet?
Yes, I did.
Oh,
yesterday.
did you?
I got it up. Yeah,
I want to see it. Yeah, yeah, good.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
amazing.
I posted. Yeah, it is pretty cool.
Oh, you
Yeah,
posted it?
it's part of my
You did-
morning video. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I'll
But
look.
I'll
Okay.
send you the clip.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll look. Oh, that's awesome. That's cool. See, I never even got that far, and I had it
Oh,
for a while because after the golf course debacle, although I
right,
did get a nice TikTok out of that running for the
right.
drone. Anyway, but after that debacle, I said, let me brilliantly let me fly it inside the condo.
Oh, you told me this. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So I flew it inside the condo. Now I'm flying it in the condo. I'm landing it on the kitchen counter and all that kind of crap.
Right.
And I'm feeling good about myself. And then once again, some adversity came with the drone. I was showing off. I was showing some people
Sure.
that I could fly it in
Yeah.
the condo.
Right.
And then sure enough, I freaking flew into a lamp. Then it went underneath. Then it went underneath the glass table.
Right.
The lamp's table. It went underneath the table, and it was going banging up and down on the table. I didn't know
Oh,
what
that's
the hell
funny.
was going on. I started
That's funny.
pressing all the buttons. It stopped, and now one of the little rotors doesn't turn anymore, so it
Oh.
doesn't go up in the air.
Oh,
So
oh,
I broke it.
oh,
Anyway,
God.
so
They are
that's
fun
my-
though, but yeah, you're right. And it's one of those things getting used to, like when it's going, if you're going forward and you want it to stop from going forward, then you pull back, but then you pull back too far. Another thing goes flying backwards.
Yeah, there's no finesse. We have no finesse.
Yeah, I
That's the
know.
problem.
I know.
It's
Yeah,
too
me using my hands and anything. Oh, God.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Messed up.
You got no hands. You
Cement
need
hands,
somebody
yeah.
silky mitts. Somebody with silky mitts. That's what you need.
Definitely.
What do you got? I can't see these.
So
I'm
I
not-
always got a little
Hi.
funny joke in. So we got Pepper the dog. Can these drones be armed to take out Pepper? That's good. Have I talked to you since I had the little confrontation with
Pepper
my neighbor?
sticks. Yes, yes. The one. Yes, yeah.
It's actually turned out to be very nice, and I saw her side of it, and I felt bad about it. She's a very nice lady, so it hasn't stopped the dogs from barking constantly. So
Oh my God. What did I can't watch your videos of food, your Sunday food videos. I can't do that if I'm hungry. That's devastating. So last Sunday, you made something that seemed, what was, do you remember? I just like the different, like knowing the difference in the capers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's the two. I have learned, as you have said, I've been flexible. Instead of using much salt, I still use a Selly salt from our Selly girls.
Yep.
But I've learned that the capers is a good source of sodium. You can get different levels of sodium. This one that I have is pretty low, and they are a fruit. I did not realize a very high antioxidant.
Well, that's the antioxidant. I mean, that's good. And then also you fought off that cold, huh?
Yes, a couple of friends of mine, actually, you being one of them, said to get that zinc in you. Yeah. And what else? There's something else. Zinc and the vitamin.
Well, zinc, the vitamin D.
Right.
Vitamin D is good. And a lot of C. I mean, you take a lot of C.
Yes.
Vitamin C.
What did I make here? Let me look at this. I made shrimp.
Yeah, there was something there that you did to it. That whatever. There was
I put ramen noodles with a whole bunch of vegetables.
There you go. Yeah, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, very.
So to your point,
very tenacious.
Yeah, to your point though, I have changed a lot. But again, it is strange how it has to be me changing myself. Yeah.
Yes. Well, no, but you have to accept it. People can suggest things to you.
Yeah.
All right. And then you let it ruminate, like the Gaia TV. You still haven't gotten it. You'll probably get that in like 2024 or something.
Sure.
So the Gaia TV, fantastic. You would learn how to rewire your brain. Joe Dispenza, you probably never went to his thing.
No.
Your friends from Canada come down with the TV show. They talk about Wim Hof.
Yeah.
Right. The Iceman. All of a sudden now, you're like, oh, yeah. Oh, the Canadian. Oh, yeah. Eh? Oh, yeah. Forget about it. You know? Yeah. Great. Thank you.
It's so true, too. Like, I do sit here and say to myself, well, I should do that. I should do that.
Yeah, but no, just, even we talked about the last time, or one of our episodes here, we talked about the marijuana, the pot.
Yes.
Okay. So Dr. Hooverman, the scientist, had a 2-hour dissertation it's on YouTube, all about marijuana. And he breaks it down into the 3 strains and this and that. And he gives you the statistics of it. And just in summation, because I fell asleep and I have to continue watching it because it's 2 hours. Anyway, but the conclusion was that, at most he was suggesting like 2 times a week to smoke it. If you're smoking it every day, it does things to your brain that you really don't need. But I will find out great
Let
in
me ask you a
detail.
question. It is a very serious question. I'm not passing judgment.
Go.
So we'll use him as example, that doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's and this? Do you think that maybe so in your case you believe in this doctor? So do you believe then that every time he makes a presentation, whether it's on marijuana or sleep or alcohol, that he is correct in his presentation?
I think that he believes that's a great question. That's a really good one for me. So here's the thing about him. He explains it to me, the layman, in terms that I can understand. I respect his scientific abilities. All right. I think he's more of a guy like you and I, because he's as big as we are. He's got 2 sleeves of tattoos. He lived on the street as a kid for about 2 years due to like something with his family, some situation. So he's had a checkered past, let's say,
Right.
and he's overcome it to be a scientist. So and he's not selling anything. And it wasn't like he's being sponsored by a CBD dispensary, or he's being, you know what I mean? So he doesn't have any fish, he doesn't have any, what do they call that? A horse in the game or a dog in the game, or whatever the hell
No agenda. No agenda. Yeah.
No agenda per se.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So I believe, look, I'm into the science of it. I'm taking now. I started to take a course on positive psychology.
Right.
Why not? And it's given by this guy, Dr. Marty. I'm going to screw his name up like I screw everybody else's name up. Slagerman or Slagerberg, whatever his name is. It's the guy who, whatever it is.
Dr. Didiak,
Yeah. Exactly. So I'm taking a course. I'm going to take six courses. They're three credits each.
Sure.
And just to learn the science of it. So
it's interesting, right? Because I know you probably saw this piece. It came out on Netflix 2-3 years ago, talking about how people they don't have to eat meat to get protein. They can skip the process of meat and go to the vegetables. That's how they skip the middleman, is basically what they said. And they gave this whole case of why being vegetarian was much more healthy for you, even to get your proteins in. And when they talked about it, they made it seem like, this is scientific fact that this is the case. You're much better being a vegetarian as far as getting your protein. That's where you get your proteins, from the vegetables. But then doctors come along and say totally debunked it and said it was wrong. So it's like, so what do people? I guess my point is, where do people go to get what is the real right answer on that subject and many others, right?
Yeah, I think what happens is you have to listen. If you're really, let's put it this way: the messages that are put out there a lot of times are by people who have an agenda, whether it's global warming, pro or con global warming, right? The COVID, pro and con. Right. Take the vaccine, don't take the vaccine. Everybody had an agenda with that. Okay. Yep. The only time I really believe stuff like that is don't smoke cigarettes. Cigarettes smoking can cause cancer. Secondary smoke is not good for you, right? Don't take a needle and inject heroin into your veins. Probably not a good move, right? I don't know. Somebody telling me that, I got to believe that. It seems like they got a point there. Right. Don't do cocaine. Don't snort copious amounts of cocaine. Not a good move, right? And anybody so it's excess. I believe don't do things to excess. I love a good steak. We're not getting, although we are getting younger, that's our goal here, is to get younger, right?
Yep.
Well, one of the ways to get younger is not have steak every day, because I don't want to clog my arteries. I don't want to get a stent if I don't have to. I don't want to get a valve replacement. I don't want my chest cracked open unnecessarily, right? So, having too much steak is no good. Anything in excess, sex in excess, anything. Well,
sex in excess is
excess. Yeah. I think about it. Yes. I'm sorry.
I'll have to question that.
You know what I mean? But anything like that, I mean, no matter what. Yeah, there are people that are addicted to porn. Okay. And there's a new thing, that they're addicted to porn. It's no good. It's not healthy.
You touched on a very interesting point. This has been something that's been not bothering me, but I've noticed more and more in the media. Yep. In the past, they made the clear distinction between climate change and global warming. My impression is that climate change is a fact of history, that they've got records to show that the climate has gone up and down. We have ice ages and all that. That's not a concern. And then the other part of it is the global warming, is that the globe is warming uncontrollably, and how much have we played a role in that, and how much can we reverse that? But now when they talk about that subject, they combine the two, and they'll either use the term climate change or global warming to combine those two things.
Like it's interchange. They interchange it.
Right. That's my impression. Do you agree with that?
Well, I do. I feel, my belief on that is we should respect the earth, just like we should respect our bodies. We should respect each other, and we should respect the earth. So as far as we should have some kind of clear-cut way to clean up the ocean, let's say, okay? Right. And they are doing things like that. There are some, things that are doing that. We should not pollute the ocean. I believe that if we can reduce the emission of certain things into the ozone and whatnot, well, we should try to do that.
Right.
I don't know enough about the electric cars and as opposed to the fuel burning cars and all.
Because there's the battery issues. What do you do with the batteries after?
Right. Yeah. So there's no clear cut way to do things. I think that if windmills can power places, well, then, use the windmills,
solar. Yeah.
Yeah. But I like the fact that, solar, listen, there are solar panels that'll light your house up. And then you could, if you have excess power, you could throw it into the grid and everything. And if that truly is helping us, fantastic. They have solar AC compressors. So they hook those solar panels now on AC compressors. There's a company in Arizona that does that. Okay. I think it's called SunTech, run by some friends of mine. And so that helps also. So, and you get some kind of tax abatement. I don't know enough about it. A friend of mine in Philadelphia has a solar company, and I should know the name of it. He's a good friend of mine, my friend Rick. And you
want to plug some more people over here? Geez,
well, no, Rick. I want to get more viewers. So now maybe Rick will watch the show and put a comment in. All right, because we lost Dory. Obviously, we haven't heard from Dory today. She was on another call with the marketing company. This marketing company is just doing phenomenal work for us. and Dory lately has been so annoyed by it. She's actually doing breath work on herself. But and funny stuff. So we were on with the guy yesterday, and it, as nice as possible. Like we kind of let him have it. Like,
so are you locked in with these guys? You can't get away from them?
No, we probably are going to get away from them. I think they've done it to themselves. You know what I'm saying? In other words, I started here, okay, and I've gone 360 with them, right back to I'm looking at myself again in the mirror. You know what I mean? The man in the mirror. So I started looking in the mirror, and I said, I need some help with this marketing, with the marketing of this idea that Dory has created. And so then I trusted this company, and now I'm 360. It's me again. It's me and Dory.
It's funny, like we talked before about me being so stubborn and everything. Here's a case of maybe why I've become like that. So when I started in the NHL, I had this agent. I don't mind using his name, and I'm going to be derogatory towards him because he did some bad things to a lot of players. Art Kaminsky.
Oh, okay.
And so I was one of those both naive farm boys and that stubborn farm boy. Thought nobody's ever going to do anything bad to me, right? Everybody's going to tell me the truth all the time. Coming to New York, here's this big time. So I've had him for like 2 or 3 years. I don't like what job he's doing, but I think, okay, I'm going to be a real man. I'm not going to call him on the phone. I'm going to go down to his office. And I'm going to fire him face to face.
Nice.
Walk into the office. I leave 20 minutes later thinking he's my best friend in the world. Didn't fire him.
He was one of those guys.
He talked me into, But a month later, I stopped and I go, what just happened here? I got talked into, doing this. And he had gotten myself and several other players into one of these 4-to-1 tax write-offs.
Oh.
So this is back. Yeah, it was some oil. They never drilled the wells. And I didn't even really qualify. I was making $60,000 at the time. I wrote off. You could write off 4 times what you invested. I think I invested $12,500. So like,
so 4 times that. Yeah.
Yeah. I was writing off $50,000 of the $60,000 that I made. Fantastic. I just didn't qualify. And I never forget. I asked him the question. I said, what's the worst thing that can happen here? He said, well, Tom, in 10 years, the IRS may come back looking for you, but they won't be able to find you anyways. So I believed him. 10 years later,
won't be able to find you. 10 years later, you're still playing hockey.
I know. That's what the exact quote was. Yeah. So they came and found me 10 years later, and I had to write myself a big check to the IRS to get it out.
Yeah. My God. Yeah. That's tough.
But but I think to myself, okay, so maybe those kinds of things happened to me was part of why I got to the point where I just didn't listen to anybody. I was going to do what I thought was right too, right?
Well, you have to, so, okay. So here's the thing, right. But that's something when it comes to business and you hire an accountant, you have to believe somebody because you're not an accountant, right? And when you hire a lawyer, you got to believe somebody because you're not a lawyer.
But you know what, though? I should have just followed my heart. My heart was telling me to fire him, and I didn't.
Oh, yeah.
That's the part to me that I learned a lesson from.
Oh, yeah.
That I allowed him to talk me into something that I knew was wrong.
Right. Well, I'm at the point now, and I know Dory feels likewise, where we're ready to kick these people to the curb in a nice way, but this doesn't seem to be working. And
right.
And that's that, because the idea of Wellness Connect and putting the wellness people together, like Jackie Long, I'm going to send her a note and let her set up a free profile. Let's say, she could do it for 90 days free and see what happens, because we're advertising nationally. But stuff like that, it's good. I mean, people need they should want to be fit. You know what I'm saying? They should want to be mentally fit. It's not just
no, but let's stick. You get wandering around. Let's stick to the topic we're on about you sticking to your guns. Like so you want to fire these people? Okay, that was our topic.
Okay, all right. So specifically, I'm at the point now where I've kind of had it. I've had it with the inactivity. Right. Okay, I want the energy of finishing the website. I need the website finished. So I need the website finished so that we can now, when Dory advertises and the people go to the website, there is when you advertise, there's a call to action. Okay. So in the ad, there's a call to action.
Right. I want to stick. Let's stick to our point of firing these people. Okay.
Go. Okay.
Okay. So you said your comment was you want to do it in a nice way. So how would you do that in a nice way?
I'll just say, listen, it's not working out. This is not working out. We are going in another direction because I need this to be done right away.
Right. See, that was kind of my point. That was kind of my point to think, okay, it's almost like you wonder sometimes if you're too nice, that you leave the door open to them thinking they could talk you out of that decision.
Yeah, I haven't done that yet. Yeah, I'm not in 100% agreement with doing it because I don't have an alternative. I'm building a quick alternative. And I don't want to have inactivity on this any longer. It's been now 2 months. The website should be done. And now the ads, because this already happened with the supplement company. That in other words, what happens now in today's society is you hire you can't do everything yourself. Okay. So you then engage a marketing company, and the marketing company, they have these fantastic meetings, and when you met the people from Canada, you had a great meeting, right? And then God forbid you go to Guatemala and the people are idiots. You know what I'm saying? You're hanging out with them, because now you're out of your environment. They're out of their environment. Now you're all together in an environment, and you're doing something in creative in the entertainment industry. And God forbid, what happens if you're in Guatemala and you don't like what's going on? Right? What do you do? You're in Guatemala. I don't know. Yeah. So that's the situation. Same thing. So I've already done, look, at our age, we've done everything, right? Basically wrong, so I've already been in business situations. Okay.
Right. But what I'm really trying to get at too is that, okay, so you have been through a lot of things. You've got a lot of experience
in business. Yeah.
So when you have hired somebody and then you realize it's not working out, I guess, and I'm not criticizing. I'm really more asking.
Go ahead.
Why wait? Why wait and see if it's going to change? Like, would you not just do it right away? Are you looking for something to change, or?
So I've already. They are changing. See, I like if people are going to change, but if it's consistent change, fine. As long as this now, in other words, between today and next show, I want to have a website
I guess my point is, so you've got an opinion formed of these people based on their performance for the first 2 months, correct?
Yeah. My opinion of them and my opinion of most marketing companies is they I think do almost like as little as possible. There's nobody really going balls to the wall.
Really?
Okay. To get something set up. You know what I'm saying? It really seems that way, Tom, to me. And now, and I mean, Dory and I have looked at and met so many of these marketing companies that are on Instagram, like buy this, spend $900 and buy this, and you could retire and just let the website work for itself and all of those kind of things. There's all these offers on social media, and the majority of them are full of crap. Because you rarely see a guy like you, like let's say we did something for you with the True Grit YouTube channel, and it became successful. Like, next thing you know, you got 500,000 subscribers, which we should have, because that's how good we are at this. No, but anyway, so let's say we had that. You and I would sing their praises, whoever the company is, and you don't see that. You don't see that a lot.
See, that's what I think. And I'm not doubting you in any way. I'm just feeling like,
well,
okay, why is it that way? And again, part of the topic I really wanted to get on was, again, we kind of joked around before about my stubbornness and not wanting to. At the same time, you've got a strong personality as well.
Yeah.
I guess I'm more getting at that logic that we all have. If you follow your heart, if your heart is saying to you, these are the wrong guys, but I guess you're saying to me, well, yeah, I believe they're the wrong guys, but I don't have an alternative.
Well, I don't want to act impulsively. It's very easy for me to get on the call with this guy and say, you are an effing idiot and this and that, and your company is not, it's ridiculous.
But I mean, I'm short of that though, like, you don't have to rip into it. I guess it's the decision-making process. Like, why do some people say, okay, I'm following my heart, it's the wrong move for me. And maybe in some people will say, I'm going to keep thinking that something's going to change here with these people.
Because, like I said, right now we engage them for a month. We have let's say a couple of weeks left. Okay. And in a couple of weeks, if obviously nothing happens, well, then we're going to have to dissolve it, but we've already paid in advance for the month.
Gotcha.
So it's a tenuous situation in my mind. You know what I'm saying? Because I've already started to talk to alternatives.
Right.
Okay. And the
unfortunate problem for you is it's just killing time, right? It's like,
it's a waste. It's a waste. I want to get this thing done. It's that. And then down here also in Florida, what I'm faced with is coaching a bunch of real estate people. And one of my real estate guys, who's a great guy, known from the Bronx, he fantastically successful, worked for Fox Sports. Now he's doing realty down here. He was he had three people coming down here, and probably would have had like a average of $5.5 million in houses purchased in the next 90 days. And guess what? This area got devastated. Yeah. The people, they said, we love you, you're a great guy, this and that, but we don't know what we're doing yet. You know what I mean? They all changed their mind.
Right. So it's interesting going back to that following your heart thing, though, right?
Yep.
Because like in business, for me, like, I have just learned, in some cases, maybe recklessly too, just say, no, I believe I can do this. Like when I started the agent business, for example, I'd never done it before. I had no business experience. I didn't even know how to book a hotel because I played hockey all the time and everybody else was doing all this stuff for me. But when I look back at it, I just followed my heart, and I'm glad I did. Now, the flip side is I had a young family and I'm putting my own money into this business. I could have gone belly up too, right? I mean, so it's that saying to people, listen, follow your heart. But then you say, okay, well, if you follow your heart so much, do you then go put yourself in danger financially with business deals sometimes?
So sometimes perhaps, but it depends on how self-aware you are.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? In other words, think about it though. You being an agent was not a stretch, and I'll tell you why. But you were a captain, you were an assistant captain, you were a locker room guy. Didn't you win 2 years in a row or something like that? Twice, the Good Guy Award or something like that?
Yeah, I won Players Play. It's a good point you bring up. I won Players Play.
You understand what I'm
Award
saying? So you related to the players. The guy who owned the Kings, Bruce or whatever his last name is. Okay, what? He used to give you money to go buy guys beer after the games, right?
True,
So think about that. So you being an agent makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
because the legal stuff.
Very good point. Yeah.
Come on, because the legal stuff, you let somebody like what is it, Barnett or whoever or who? What was the other? What was
I did all the contract negotiation. Yeah.
No, so I don't mean that, but you didn't write the contract.
Well, it can't in the NHL. It's a standard contract. Okay. You cannot change the language. Yeah.
Okay.
So the point is really what you're doing.
Let me interrupt you.
You're negotiating the numbers. Just to clarify, you're negotiating the numbers on the contract, and it's more that personal thing, like you're saying. So you're correct.
But Tom, you did some magical stuff there. You did something with Barad that no one thought could have ever been done.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
and you did that. You know what I'm saying? Nobody else did that.
I know. I don't know if there's a little sarcasm there or not, but it's like Pete Rose followed his heart and cost him.
Danny, gambling is an addiction. Gambling is an addiction. The thrill of winning for Pete Rose. Pete Rose loved to win, and gambling was an addiction. And then he got full of himself. He believed his own bullshit. He started betting on his own team to win.
And no kidding.
Right? Did he ever bet on a team and it lost? It wasn't like he wasn't like part of the Black Sox in whatever the hell that was, 1919 or something like that. Remember that scandal?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Pete had an addiction, a gambling addiction. You know,
see, that's something I've learned too about the addiction thing, whether it's gambling, alcohol, drugs, whatever. So obviously it's something that has happened to him in his past that has given him that addiction.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't seem like he's done anything about it. Like he hasn't went and got therapy. So.
No, I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's still around, Pete, and he was punished tremendously. And
well, here's a good debate. I know we're getting off topic a little bit. He still belongs to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's a good point, though. So so does Barry Bonds? Does A-Rod? You know, do they deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? Mark McGwire, Albert Bell, not Albert Bell. I don't know. Who is it?
I know who you're thinking.
You know what I'm saying. I can't.
Yeah. Barry Bonds. Well,
Bonds, McGwire, A-Rod. That's tough. Roger Clemens. Roger Clemens is a pariah. I mean, poor guy. You know, he was a hell of a pitcher. There's a good Netflix special. I like the documentaries that Netflix has. There's one on Nolan Ryan. I thought that's a good one.
Right.
Nolan Ryan was.
It's amazing, isn't it? How like you take an athlete like Lawrence Taylor, for example.
Yeah.
One of the best football players that's ever played.
Yes.
But his record away from the football field and the things he's done to women.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly, I cannot cheer for him. I don't care how good of a football player is. I saw recently a couple years ago with the Giants, and I view the Giants as a very classy organization, the Mara family and everything. Mm-hmm. They brought him back to honor him after all the stuff that he'd been charged with women. I'm like, really?
Yeah, that's.
I mean, so see, to me, it's not. I hear it, but I don't even think it's a tough call. It's no brainer. Okay, football is that more important being a good football player than being a person that rapes young women, which is what he was charged with. I just
yeah. No, I hear you. Yeah.
Well, here's a good point by Danny here on Pete Rose, and things have changed in that direction. We banned Rose. Yeah, we have commercials, but he bet on his own team. That's the difference, right?
To win, I guess. But
yeah, I know. And then with the whole steroid thing with those guys, I know it's cheating. The rules is against the rules, but I mean, offensive linemen, defensive linemen in the NFL right now. You tell me we don't know that they're doing drugs right now?
Yeah. Well, listen, I will say for myself that think about it. If you're playing a sport, if you're playing a baseball, let's talk about like A-Rod, let's say, or whoever, did it help him? 162 games a year for baseball. That's got to be pretty grueling. Okay. That's a lot of that's
grueling to play baseball for 162 games a year.
You got to hit the ball, Tom. I mean, it's not an easy game.
How's that grueling though? You're up what 3 times a game? 3 times a game, you're up at bat.
Oh my God!
You swing the bat 8 times?
Listen to you.
That's grueling.
I'm not talking soccer. I'm not talking about soccer where they wither in pain when somebody taps them or something like that. I'm not.
In all seriousness, how is baseball grueling in any way?
I gotta believe it. It's hot as hell. It's grueling. You're traveling every day. I know. Look, all right. You ready for this? Being on tour is grueling. Going on a 9-month tour, a world tour with a rock band, that gets exhausting. Now you're doing a lot of things you shouldn't be doing, and that causes the exhaustion also. You know what I'm saying? Just imagine going around traveling with basically like a mental institution.
Yeah.
Okay. If you go into if you're in a group of 20 guys at a nut house, and now you take those 20 guys and you go across the world.
Well, back in the 70s and 80s and 90s, that was the National Hockey League too.
Yeah.
Thing.
So that's grueling.
Well, because it was self-inflicted grueling. I mean, the actual playing of a baseball game. I mean, so you're the average second baseman.
Yeah.
How many times you're really not even moving that much? I mean,
oh my God!
How does CC Sabathia doesn't get in shape until after he retires?
Well, the pitchers seem to take liberties with themselves. I guess the pitchers that started with Denny McLain. I think Denny McLain was a big heavyset guy. When I was growing up, I remember Denny McLain being out of shape. There were a bunch of guys that are out of shape as pitchers.
Yeah,
Bartolo Colon and CC and stuff. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it's a little different, but you don't see somebody in center field that's out of shape. The outfielders don't seem to be. I don't know. I think it's a little. I think 162 games could wear on you. You're diving, you're sliding, you're this, you're that. Who knows? I don't know what to tell you.
They're not diving that. I mean, I guess they do.
All right, nothing compares to hockey. What am I going to? I understand.
I'm not even trying to compare it to hockey. I'm not trying to compare it to hockey at all. If you're, I don't know if people like this argument or not, but this whole thing that is grueling. Okay, but somebody in the military goes over to Afghanistan,
Oh wow.
walks around with a 120-pound pack on in 120-degree heat every day,
and makes 20,000 a year. I
Right.
know.
but this is grueling. This is grueling. I can't do it today, coach. You can't put me in here, coach. And they're out there for months.
So A-Rod takes some steroids and gets a $500 million contract.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And then I think he signs another contract for $500 million.
Yeah, totally.
Buys some real estate, smart
Right.
guy, invested the right way.
Lies to everybody about the steroids.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
And
And all of a
he's
sudden,
still
now
he's still on TV.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He hanging out with J-Lo, right?
Yeah.
He's living life. Listen, he keeps going.
Yeah. And that's a good point. I think we just are at the point where, okay, it's steroids. He didn't shoot. He didn't kill anybody. He didn't. I don't know. Again, I'm not. I'm very, very careful. I'm not condoning steroids, especially for young people. Anybody.
No.
But I guess it's the ability for people to break the rules, continually lie about breaking the rules, and then still prosper in the same business that they basically lied to everybody in the business, right? And he's
well, it's a redemption though. You know, you got. How about being a little forgiving, huh?
Oh yeah, but I guess okay. So then we go back to Pete Rose. Should we be forgiving of him and let him in the Hall of Fame?
That's a good question. I mean, for me, I'd have to really think about it. But he gambled. So he gambled. He gambled on baseball. He gambled on baseball.
So he potentially could have changed. He could have changed the outcome of the games, right?
Well, he could have thrown a game. I mean, you know, look, if you're the manager and you think, listen, if you're starting,
well, that's the reason you can't. That's the reason you can't bet against your with or against your own team, right?
I think that would be scary. I don't think that professional baseball players should be allowed to bet. I don't think you should be allowed to bet on your own sport. How's that?
Right. Okay. So, but that's why he specifically is not in the Hall of Fame, because he bet on his own team.
Supposedly, yeah.
Right. So he could have changed the outcome of the game based on his wager. But we know for a fact with A-Rod, for example, he did change on the outcome of the game because he changed his ability using illegal drugs. Right. So we know that he changed the outcome of the games by his performance being enhanced with the drugs.
And I think he got caught more than once, right?
Yeah, and lied about it over and over. So yes, if the issue is changing or potentially changing the outcome of the game, then we know the drug guys definitely changed the outcome of the game, right?
Yeah,
because they were able to hit more home runs because they're doing drugs.
Yeah.
So Pete Rose, is he any different than that? Why is it different with him? And I'm really asking a question. I'm not.
Well, I'm wondering who, but in other words, so they have kept the steroid guys out of the Hall of Fame, I believe. Correct. Right. So I don't think that anybody that actively did steroids, is in the Hall of Fame. So they're keeping people that broke the rules of baseball out of the game. And so then Pete Rose broke the rules of baseball by betting on baseball.
Yep. And
so he's out of the game.
Yeah.
So whether that's right or wrong, it doesn't matter what I say because I don't have a vote in the damn thing. You know what I mean? I don't know really, if you look at it that way, the baseball purist, that's why the baseball purists are excited about what Aaron Judge has done this year.
Cool. And this is a good point. Not a way to teach young athletes. That's it. Yeah. That's a big issue too. And again,
Tracy's got a very good point there. Yep.
Yeah, because do we look at athletes as role models for our young kids? Should we look at athletes as role models for our young kids?
Well, I'll tell you what we should do is first off, we should start elevating the parents, the fathers of the world. And I think that this society a little bit is knocking the dads of the world, the men of this world and the dads of this world. So I think it starts at home. I wish I was a better role model to my kids.
Really? Why don't you think you're a good role model to your kids?
Well, I got divorced, and I believed my own bullshit. So I believed my own bullshit, Tom, and that was my mistake. I really should have. In other words, when you say follow your heart, right? When you say follow your heart, you're right. If your heart or your conscience, right? The goodness, the positivity that was instilled in you by your parents, okay, and your upbringing. I had similar things with my grandfather. Okay, my mother and father loved me, but my grandfather was the one who was throwing the positivity into my head from 0 to 7, more than anybody. Like he actually actively said so many positive things to me on a daily basis. But anyway, so then as you grow up and you have success, you know, I had success, and then I started to have like unbelievable success. You know, I never like stuff that I was happening positive to me that I didn't even understand and believe. And then I started to believe that it was me and not God. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, in other words,
but how did that manifest itself? Like, what did you do?
I got divorced. I mean, I believe my own bullshit. I got divorced. Oh, I should get divorced. You know what I mean? I went to, you know, that wasn't a good move.
So you got divorced. Why though? Because you thought
I believe my own bullshit.
Yeah,
not that I was too good for it. I thought I wasn't getting enough out of the relationship, whatever it might have been. You know what I mean? And that was that looking back on it, mistake. There's nothing, you know, I think that we have to celebrate the family that, you know, I needed somebody to tell me, listen, you stupid bastard. Okay. Don't do this because you're going to blow up something that you could really make better. You know what I mean? And if now that I've been doing this field trip of enlightenment, you know, now that I'm doing everything that I'm doing, that definitely, I needed somebody to not agree with me. You know, when you're successful, right, in business, you surround yourself, it seems, with a bunch of yes men. And I think that somebody I listened to recently said it's always important to have somebody who's like a naysayer around you, who is going to debate the other side of everything, even in business, making a decision.
Well, that's definitely the professional athlete world too. Everybody's telling you how great you are, and you really do believe it. There's no question.
Yeah, you understand what I mean?
I've had several conversations with former teammates, and it's just they've gone through things after the game, and they look back and they go, but it's almost like idiots. Like I hate to be too hard on us, but yeah. So when I watch professional athletes now, and people say, "Well, I can't believe he's acting like that," you know, he's making $20 million a year, and I go, "Well, if you understood the life," and again, I'm not making like Antonio Brown. Tracy brings him up here. Good example. There's obviously something wrong with that man.
He's got mental illness.
Yeah. Well, or something's happened to him in the past. And you and I have learned these things now about the trauma and why people act out like that. And people say, "Oh, he's just a bad guy." Well, it isn't just that he's a bad guy. Something's happened to him to make him that way, and he needs help. But yeah, it's, you know. But again, I'm sure in his world, he's got a bunch of people around him saying, "No, he's right. He should be acting like that. That's what he's supposed to do."
And he might have a valid point in a lot of areas too. I don't know enough about him, but I know that his actions, you know, at times are inappropriate, right?
But let's go back about the divorce subject. I'm using you as an example. I'm sorry to do this, but that's where you're. But I always viewed you as a very good father, though.
I mean, yeah, I tried.
Yeah, so, but again,
there's a lot to it. Listen, there's a lot to it. I mean, I definitely did a lot of things and made a lot of sacrifices for my kids because of the divorce. Had it not been for the divorce, look, somebody described it like I was a rocket ship taking off, and suddenly, like, the thrusters got shut off and it crashed. Right. You know, so I'm just saying it changed the trajectory of my life. Right. Simple. You know what I mean?
Do you love who you are now?
I love who I am now. I don't. So do I have regrets? I don't know if it's regrets. I've learned from the past as far as
all those decisions you made help shape who you are now. Right.
Who I am today. Yeah. And so, yes, I mean, I still love my kids, you know what I'm saying? And I will try.
Right. But here's the thing that I'm getting at is that, so, listen, I'm not condoning divorce either. Divorce shouldn't happen. It happens in over 50% of marriages. So it doesn't mean it's right, but it's also, some people would argue that if you're in a bad marriage and your kids are seeing that bad marriage, you're better off getting apart from each other and concentrating on taking care of the kids. See, I viewed, for me, when I was in the agent business married, so I think I probably spent less time with my kids because I think, okay, I'm off earning the money, doing the work. The wife stays home and takes care of the kids. So I would not spend as much time with them. Once I got divorced, I realized I wanted to have a relationship with my sons. And so I sacrificed more on my work and spent more time with my kids. So I view it that, again, not condoning divorce, not happy that I got divorced, but my relationship with my sons is better. I think better than it would have been had I stayed married.
Well, I'm not going to disagree with that because I don't know it, because every situation is different. But
Yeah.
yes, I spent more time with my sons and I did less in business. But here the bottom line is, here I am today. So here I am today. I can't regret the past. You know what I mean? And I can't look back.
Oh,
I got to look
yeah.
forward, and I have to worry about being in the moment today. And yes, for today, I'm happy. I'm addicted to positivity. If I'm addicted to something, I'm addicted to positivity. I'm always looking to deal with the negative, deal with adversity, and get back to positive. Try to find the good in every day. I believe in all of that stuff, and I want to manifest positive thoughts.
Yeah.
Because that's where it's at. Your thoughts become your actions.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking positive, then you're going to have positive actions. That's important that people realize that, and then your actions become habits. Right. I mean, I believe that stuff. So, so all of the actions that become habits for me, my habits now, I freeze lemons. We talk about it all the time. And I shave the lemons in the morning, and I go to the gym, and I'm being healthy. I eat healthy. I listen to people like yourself with the capers, for example, the low sodium capers. I had no clue, and I had no clue what it's a vegetable, right? Or a fruit. What the heck is it?
With the capers are fruit.
Yeah.
Had to look that up. Had to look up and had to talk to Google. Hey, Google, what are capers? Are they fruit or vegetable?
Wait, don't stay where you're not happy to show the kid. Well, that's true, Tracy. That you know what? Here's the thing. So Tom, but here's you grew up right on the farm.
Mm-hmm.
Mom and dad got along great together, stayed married, correct?
Well, they stayed married. They had their ups and downs. There's some things I look back at and I go, wow, I love my parents to death. They're fantastic people, but they're married for a long time together, and they had their fights, and and again, to Tracy's point, the relationship I saw with my mother and father, as much as it was great in some ways, when the bad things happened, especially because there was no communication afterwards to explain to our young kids under the year of 7, 8 years old are sitting there watching this happen.
Oh my God.
And then they get up the next morning and you're thinking, are our parents getting divorced or what's going on? And life just goes on like nothing's happened. You think to yourself, really? So it's shaped there's no question, it's shaped how I view relationships. There's no question. Just again, those early years from 7, 8 years old, watching those things happen. Yeah.
So I mean, but they, God bless them, they stayed together.
Yes. Yeah. Well, yeah. But again, you're raising two kids, and two kids are watching your relationship. And that's now, again, like as you have, many others have taught me, those years from 0 to 7 or 8 years old are those formative years where your subconscious mind is now being developed. Yeah. And you're watching this stuff. Like it's turned, like in some ways it's helped me a lot. Like, so I've told the story before where, oh geez, we're going to go long here. But so my mother's brother got killed in a motorcycle accident when I was small, like 6 or 7 years old.
That does something.
So, yeah. So we're at a lacrosse tournament, and we're away someplace, seemed like 1,000 miles away, probably like 50 miles away or something. But
yeah,
it was one of those weekends where you're going from place to place. You did that with hockey, and you're playing.
Sure. Absolutely.
So at the start of the game, we're in warm-ups, and I see these two police officers talking to my father. So, when you're playing in your father, you think, geez, is my father getting like arrested or something? Yeah. Then I looked up during the game, and my father and mother were gone. And I'm thinking, and I'm in panic mode. I'm thinking my father must get arrested. Come off the floor, or the lacrosse was, and these 5 men, and one of them, the coach, was standing there. And they go, my uncle's name was Billy Hall. But now I'm in a panic mode thinking, what is going on? These 5 men are like, trap me. And they say, do you know Billy Hall? And I panicked and said, no, I don't know Billy Hall. He's my uncle. Mm-hmm. And they said, well, your uncle's been killed on a motorcycle, Billy Hall. So now my parents, God bless their soul, I'm sure my mother was just devastated. Mm-hmm. They'd left me there at this tournament. Now I'm just like, what is going on? I'm there all by myself, left me with another family. We go off and play another game the next day. I stay in the whole, meanwhile, my parents and everything are gone back. My uncle, who I was very close with, has died. Mm-hmm. And here I am playing lacrosse at 6 years old by myself. I would never, ever do that to my sons. I just thought that was. Okay.
But here's the deal. Back then, people weren't aware of any of that stuff.
Oh, no question. I agree.
And then even when we were parenting, we were a little more aware, let's say, because of things that happened to us. But that's where a lot of these therapists, I'm going to screw it up, but it's like past life transgression. Like in other words, you are an amalgamation. How's that for a word? You are your influence, your being is influenced by all the stuff that went on
Totally.
in your ancestry. That's why that ancestry.com and all those kind of things that, those are so popular because people want to know what the hell went on 200 years ago in their family.
Right.
Some people are finding out that their father isn't even their father.
Oh, is that right?
Oh yeah. Or you know what I'm saying? Or mom or whatever it might be, like it's uncovering a whole bunch of stuff there that's amazing. So anyway, too bad we ran out of time. We should start this. We should make note of this and get back into it.
Yeah. No, I like this topic a lot. Yeah.
It's interesting. And it's very open and honest and every other damn thing here. All right.
Iris, one last thing. Iris funny sometimes.
Iris is a good guy. What's he doing now?
Tom is still trying to recover from Kotze's initiation. Did I tell you Chris Kotsopoulos' initiation story?
My God, the poor guy.
One of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. But, So Chris Kotsopoulos, former player, great guy, bad body, got the boils and everything on the body. And
God.
When you're a rookie in the NHL back then, all you need to do is respect the other players. You just, Kotze couldn't do that. He had to get in confrontations all the time. So one day, Rye Playland comes out of the shower and he gets attacked by a bunch of veteran players. They tie him to the trainer's table. They put so he's naked now. Remember? They put a stick underneath the table, then tie his like Jesus to the tape his arms to the thing. They do the same thing. Do the same thing with his feet. Here's this man laying there. Now they take a shoelace or skate lace. Tied around his penis, and then tie it to a pipe up above him. They stretch it just enough that if he was to move too much, he potentially could dismember himself.
Oh my God!
So now one of the players who will remain nameless gets a paper cup, and right in front of Kotze, making sure that he can see this, urinates into the paper cup.
Oh, you guys are. This is.
I'm a rookie at the time. I'm sitting in the corner. So they then take the paper cup and they, unbeknownst to Kotze, they take it and throw that urine out, but put warm water into the cup. So when they come back, Kotze still thinks that it's urine in the cup, but it's warm water. So now they hold his nose and start to pour the warm water down his throat. He's thinking it's
urine. Oh my God.
Oh, I'm watching this and he's gagging and everything like that. But he can't move because if he moves too much, he's going to rip his.
Oh my God. Wow.
So
what medieval son of a bitch doing that? I don't need to know names, but I'm just saying, what is wrong with you people?
Yeah, we've had this discussion many times about initiation in the past and how it was idiotic. We thought it was something to bond everybody together. We never bonded anybody together. It was stupid. Yeah.
Well, let me tell you that stuff now on the college level towards the end of my college career, that you couldn't do any of that stuff.
No,
and I used to, I forgot exactly when that stopped, and it's a good thing that it did.
Oh, totally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it served no purpose. I think it was more because, he got it before, so he's going to pass it on to somebody else. It didn't do anything.
That's crazy.
They came over to me. I'm sitting in the corner, just like I'm not saying a word to, and they come over. They're going, "Are you going to talk anymore this year?" Nope, I'm not saying a word the rest of the year.
Oh my God, that's great guys, right?
Yeah,
but I'll tell you what. Now it's that kind of initiation stuff that's kind of ended. I forgot. I was listening to somebody. And he said, basically, you respect the veterans, but everybody has to be a team. Everybody pulls together and now
Zdeno Chara was interviewed in the Boston Bruins.
Well, he's a classy guy, though.
Right, and I've never seen that.
Yeah, from Aerosmith, Boston, all that stuff. Zdeno Chara is a real classy guy. Yeah. He's a good locker room guy, huh?
Yes. So he was one that I first saw say that in the National Hockey League. I think that sentiment had already been in the NHL, but he was the way he said it was very good. It was very matter of fact. He says, "Nope, if you're on the team, you're on the team. But as a young player, you need to respect the older players, and the older players need to treat the young players properly too." So
bring them up, good habits. Tell them what to do, what not to do, and all that kind of stuff. Awesome.
Definitely. All right, good show today. Yes, we've got some topics to cover on next year. We'll get back on that. So again, great questions by everybody.
Absolutely.
Again, that suicide hotline, we want to keep repeating that 988.
Yep. Important.
Yep. And again, if you see somebody that you're worried about that they might hurt themselves, make sure you go and talk to them. You can make a difference in somebody's lives. So whether you know them or not, too.
Just let them know you're there for them. That's all. As simple as that. And if they need help them get help. And talk about it. Don't be afraid to talk about it. Get rid of the stigma.
Yeah,
There's no stigma.
yeah, that's right too.
Mental illness is part of the fabric of our world nowadays.
It's true. It's a
Simple.
big part of it. Yeah.
Very
There's
simple.
nothing wrong with it. If you break your arm, you go to the doctor to get it fixed. The same thing with mental illness or mental health. If you got a problem, you go get help. Doesn't mean that the whole of you is broken. It means just one part of you need help with. So,
All right, Tom. Awesome. Great talking to you.
see you next week.
You got it.